Real quick video for today. Just want to talk about two things that I no longer carry around with me anymore. Now, normally I carry around this. It's a big cord roll, and in it I have like a whole just bunch of stuff that I might need depending on what kind of situation I'm in, what the equipment is available in that room. But it gets a little bit bulky, as you can see. So I'm always kind of like revisiting and making sure that everything that's in there is something that I might actually use. But there's two things that I recently just took out, and I thought I'd go over them with you. First thing is this. This is a female to female HDMI adapter, and what it does is if you have, say, only like a 6-foot length of HDMI cable, plug it in on this end, and then you can add another 6-foot cable to the other end, and then create a Franken cable or an extension cord. The other one is similar, but it's a VGA version. Now, I used to carry both of these things around quite a bit because I would just never know what kind of room I'm walking. I still never know what kind of room I'm walking into a lot of the time. And I might need to make an extension cable. So let's say I walked into a conference room and I'm doing a training at a law firm, and I don't know like what their like TV situation is. Then if they only had like a 6-foot cable for whatever reason attached to their TV, so I didn't have to be like tethered to the TV, I would always carry around with me like another cable, and I would use this to create like an extension cord. Same thing with this. Although this I used even less frequently because this has some real problems. VGA, sorry I keep like reaching over. VGA is analog, and so it's relatively easy to kind of just add in an adapter and then extend the cable. HDMI is a digital signal, so it's a little bit harder to do that, and so I find myself using this with very little confidence. And in fact, I usually don't like to use an HDMI cable that's longer than 25 feet. We do have 30-foot and 50-foot cables in our office. Those are cables that have been tested with our equipment and that we know are going to work with the types of things that our clients tend to bring: iPads, laptops, MacBooks. And so we know that those work. I wouldn't trust a 50-foot cable that someone else provided to me. And that's because over distance, the digital signal degrades, and so a non-powered, non-amplified HDMI kind of extender like this really isn't going to work, and it's only, at best, is going to give you like another handful of feet. And so I found that I was never really using this. If I had a situation where I thought I might need something like this, I would just bring a 25-foot or a 30-foot HDMI cable of my own with me instead. Same thing with the VGA. I always found that adding another 6 feet rarely solved whatever problem I was trying to solve, and so I was carrying a 25-foot or a 50-foot VGA cable if I came into those situations. These days, most conference rooms now kind of have multimedia presentations on the television kind of in mind as they're getting designed, and so I don't need those things as much. Occasionally, like I was in a trial in Northern District of West Virginia, something like that, last year, and that courtroom was all HDMI only. And I knew that where the HDMI cable was for the plaintiffs, which we were in that case, was going to be at least 30 or 50 feet from where they wanted me to sit at the tech table. So in that situation, I wouldn't have been able to use one of these, and instead what I brought was a powered HDMI distribution amplifier, and so that way I could then send my signal from my laptop to 25 feet to that distribution amplifier box. That would take my signal, amplify it, and then push it through the courtroom's projection and monitor system. And so that's really what you're going to be looking at if you need to extend an HDMI cable. But because it's a lot more complicated most of the time, it's either a lot simpler or a lot more complicated than these two adapters, and so I really just don't carry them around anymore. The other main point of today's video is I'm trying out a different camera. Our other camera that I use for filming a lot of the videos is the Sony a6300 with a 16mm lens. I'm trying to play around. The other camera that we use is this Nikon D3200, which is an old camera of mine that I just kind of donated to the office. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do video-wise. So that's the real reason behind today's video. So I'm just testing it out. Let me know what you think, if you like this one better or some of the other ones better, or if you don't notice, let me know. Also, if you have things that you still carry around, even though most other people wouldn't, or if there's things that you just recently stopped carrying around all the time, I'd love to hear about it in the comments.